Are you finding it difficult to connect with your children as you grow older? It can feel incredibly isolating when the people you've spent a lifetime nurturing begin to withdraw or, worse, ignore you. You've invested so much of yourself into their lives. And yet, in your time of need, it seems like the connection is fading. Perhaps you've been left with more questions than answers. What do you do when the very people you raise seem to turn their backs on you? This is not a rare situation, and you're certainly not alone in facing this challenge. Many adults, especially as they grow older, experience the heartache of a strained relationship with their children. It's tough to navigate these feelings of rejection, confusion, and even a sense of betrayal. But before you let frustration take hold, it's important to remember that there is a path forward, a way to regain your peace, rebuild your sense of self, and even foster a better relationship with your children if that's possible. This script will offer practical advice, empowering steps, and motivational encouragement to help you through this struggle. Let's start by exploring why this situation happens and how to manage your emotions when you're faced with it. We'll also dive into actionable steps that you can take to regain control over your life. Even if your children seem distant, you will find that there is hope, and there are methods you can employ to navigate this rocky road with grace. And remember, it's okay to feel hurt, it's human, but don't let that hurt consume you. You are still in charge of your emotional well-being and your future. No matter what anyone else does, it's easy to feel lost when your children begin to act distant. You've given them everything. You had your time, your energy, your love. Why are they not returning that same affection as you grow older? It's a natural question, and it's understandable if it causes you pain, as much as it can hurt. This situation happens more often than you may think, and it stems from various sources: misunderstandings, life changes, or even differing expectations. Some children, as they grow older, are simply too consumed by their own lives to notice the needs of their parents. It can feel like a betrayal, and it can make you question everything. But take a moment and step back. Are you letting these feelings define you? Are you allowing this strain to steal your joy and sense of peace? You are not defined by the actions of others, especially when it comes to your children. Their behavior does not have to determine your happiness or your future. When your children begin to pull away, you may feel an overwhelming sense of loss, but you mustn't lose sight of your own value. So, what can you do in these moments when your children's lack of respect or attention feels like it's chipping away at your spirit? The first thing to do is to maintain calmness. Easier said than done, I know. But remember that losing your peace over someone else's behavior is the real defeat. Let go of the need to control what others do. Instead, focus on what you can control: your reaction, your mindset, and your peace of mind. One powerful tool to help you maintain that calmness is detachment. I'm not suggesting you detach from your love for them, but you can detach from the idea that you need them to act in a specific way for you to feel validated. Their actions or lack of actions do not reflect your worth. It's essential to practice this mental shift because it will allow you to reclaim control over your emotional responses. You are not at the mercy of others' choices. By embracing this, you can let go of the resentment and frustration that comes from feeling ignored or unappreciated. Now, let's explore some practical ways to regain control over your emotional health and navigate this issue with confidence. First and foremost, acknowledge and accept your feelings. The pain of being ignored by your children is real, and it deserves to be acknowledged. But once you've allowed yourself to feel those emotions, it's time to let them go. Don't allow your emotions to become your identity. Feel the hurt, process it, and then release it. Holding on to it only harms you in the long run. Practice self-compassion in these moments. Treat yourself with the kindness you would show a close friend in the same situation. Another step you can take is to set boundaries not just for your children, but for yourself. You cannot change them or force them to act in a way you want, but you can set boundaries on how their actions affect you. This is where personal empowerment comes in. What you allow others to do to you, especially in terms of emotional treatment, is a choice. It's okay to create space for yourself to heal and grow. And sometimes that means accepting a distance between you and your children while you focus on yourself. Setting boundaries also means not tolerating disrespectful behavior, whether it's overt or subtle. Protect your peace by refusing to accept negativity or lack of empathy. Communicate your feelings in a healthy way. When you feel ready, reach out to your children. But this needs to be done from a place of calmness and understanding, not anger or desperation. Express how you feel without blaming or accusing. You don't want to push them away further. Instead, focus on sharing your emotions and needs in a way that invites open communication. For example, say something like, "I've been feeling distant from you lately, and I miss our connection. Can we talk about it?" Approach them as an equal, not as someone trying to control or manipulate the situation. Take care of yourself, both physically and mentally, in times like these. Self-care is crucial. You may feel empty or lonely, but rather than letting those feelings consume you, focus on taking steps to nourish yourself. Engage in activities that make you feel good about yourself: exercise, meditation, hobbies, or even spending time with friends. When you take care of yourself, you create space for growth and healing, no matter what your children are doing. Finally, it's essential to remember that your children's behavior isn't a reflection of your worth as a parent or as a person. No matter what has happened, you are still valuable. You are worthy of love, respect, and kindness, not just from your children, but from everyone around you, including yourself, as you continue on your journey. It's important to recognize that challenges will inevitably arise, especially when emotions are running high. Life has a way of throwing obstacles in our path. And when it comes to family relationships, particularly with children, these challenges can feel even more intense. There's something deeply personal about these bonds, and the stakes can feel higher. When emotions are high, the feelings of frustration, hurt, or confusion can often cloud our judgment, making it harder to see a clear way forward. You may find yourself wondering if things will ever get better or if your relationships will heal. But during these times, it's vital to remind yourself you are not alone in this experience. Many people have walked a similar path and faced struggles that seem insurmountable at times. However, countless individuals have also emerged from these trials stronger, more peaceful, and even reconciled with their children in the end. Healing and reconciliation are entirely possible, but it often requires patience, understanding, and a willingness to let go of expectations of how things should unfold. It's easy to feel a sense of urgency, to want to fix things immediately, but the process of mending broken relationships takes time. It's essential to remember that it's okay if things aren't instantly resolved. Not everything happens on our timeline. Rather than forcing things to change quickly, the most powerful thing you can do is focus on nurturing your own life. This means investing in your own well-being, happiness, and growth. When you prioritize self-care, self-reflection, and personal growth, you create the emotional foundation needed to face difficult situations with greater clarity and resilience. You don't need to manipulate or control outcomes. As difficult as that may be, the more you focus on nurturing your own life, the more likely it is that you'll be in the right emotional space to have meaningful conversations with your children whenever that moment is meant to come. Trusting in the process and allowing things to unfold at their own pace is one of the most powerful ways you can create the space for peace, healing, and eventual reconciliation. Time has a way of bringing things into perspective, and often, with a little distance and reflection, we're able to see things more clearly. While there may be moments of doubt, it's important to hold on to the faith that whatever is meant to happen will happen when the time is right. Sometimes, it's in letting go of the need to control the outcome that we create the space for healing and growth to occur naturally. In essence, focus on building your own life, your own peace, and your own well-being. Don't put your life on hold, waiting for others to change or for relationships to heal. Trust that by doing the inner work and living your best life, you will be preparing yourself for whatever the future holds, whether that means reconciling with your children or finding peace within yourself, regardless of what happens with those relationships. Time, patience, and trust in the process will guide you toward the right resolution. Let's explore some real-life stories of individuals who have navigated similar situations and emerged stronger. Consider Jane, a mother who found herself increasingly ignored by her adult children. At first, she blamed herself. She thought maybe she hadn't done enough as a parent. But after much introspection, she realized she had given her children the tools they needed to succeed in life. And their distance was not a reflection of her inadequacy. Instead of wallowing in self-pity, Jane shifted her focus to her own personal growth. She took up painting, reconnected with old friends, and focused on her health. Eventually, her children noticed her newfound confidence and independence. Over time, they began to reach out to her more, not because she demanded it, but because she showed them what true self-love looked like. Her calm, positive transformation became a catalyst for change in her relationship with her children. Another example is Tom, whose relationship with his daughter had soured over the years. They no longer spoke as often, and he often felt overlooked. Instead of becoming bitter, Tom decided to work on himself. He began volunteering at a local charity, focusing on something outside of his relationship with his daughter. As he immersed himself in giving back, he began to find peace in himself. Over time, his daughter noticed the changes and reached out, apologizing for the years of silence. Tom's transformation wasn't about winning her affection, but about rediscovering his sense of purpose and joy. These stories prove that healing doesn't always require others to change. It often requires us to change first. You have the power to transform your own life, and by doing so, you may inspire change in others as well. It's important to remember that growth is a lifelong journey. Even when you've taken the initial steps to regain your peace, it's essential to maintain that momentum. Consistently nurturing your emotional health will ensure that you don't fall back into old patterns of frustration or resentment. Celebrate the small wins and keep your focus on the bigger picture, your happiness and your peace. You deserve joy, respect, and love. And it begins with you. Continue on this path of growth. And no matter what happens with your children, know that you are strong enough to handle it. You are the author of your own story, and the future is full of possibilities. This text captures the essence of starting fresh, finding purpose, and taking meaningful steps in life, no matter how small they may seem. Let's break down the deeper layers of its meaning. Now, take a deep breath is a call to pause, to stop for a moment, and to center yourself. It's a reminder that before you can take action or make any decisions, it's essential to calm your mind. The simple act of breathing deeply can ground you, reset your focus, and prepare you to take on whatever comes next. Commit to one small action today emphasizes that change doesn't need to be overwhelming. It's the small, intentional actions that lead to big shifts in your life. The text encourages you to make a commitment, but it focuses on something manageable. One action. It could be as simple as taking a walk, making a phone call, or doing something you've been putting off. The key here is to recognize that it's not about grand gestures, but consistent, intentional choices. Whether it's reaching out to your children with love or simply taking time for yourself, presents two examples of small, yet powerful, actions. Reaching out to loved ones, especially your children, is a reminder of the importance of relationships, love, and connection. It's a call to nurture these bonds, no matter how busy life gets. On the other hand, taking time for yourself is just as crucial. In a world where you may often prioritize others, this encourages you to reclaim space for your own well-being, whether it's through relaxation, reflection, or self-care. This balance of caring for others and yourself is key to building a fulfilling, meaningful life. Your journey begins with this moment suggests that the starting point of your personal journey lies in the present. It's not something you must wait for. The moment is now. This is a powerful reminder that, despite any past struggles or future uncertainties, you can always choose to begin anew. The journey starts from the place you are right now, and it's shaped by the choices you make going forward. And with every step you take, you are creating a future that is yours to define. Speaks to the power of choice and agency. Every action, no matter how small, contributes to the larger narrative of your life. The future is not predetermined. It's something you are constantly shaping with every decision. This phrase reminds you that you are in control, that the direction of your life is in your hands, and it's yours to decide. Overall, the text encourages you to take responsibility for your life and actions, to find moments of peace and connection, and to realize that even the smallest steps are meaningful. Each choice you make, no matter how small, is part of building the future you want. It's about taking ownership of your journey, embracing the present, and creating a life that reflects your values and desires.